Oh, hey, I'm so happy you're here. If you are back here, you are on day 11 of Buzztober under the Bubbly Thoughts podcast. Technically, you don't have to listen to any episodes before this one if you don't want to, but I would love for you to if it sounds exciting to you. Okay, so today I'm wearing this big ass sweatshirt. It's got like a little hood on it and it says, "I'm a little chilly," and it has a little chili on it, like a little chili pepper. I'm slowly but surely losing my mind while doing this. I once again repeated myself, didn't even change the straw with drinking a ranch water. I've just been in that mood. I will change it up. I need to like bring like a glass of red wine or something like that. Sounds delicious actually. Maybe I should have that after this. Anywho. Okay, so today what I'm gonna do, I also have, actually this is an empty can of Liquid Death from yesterday. Sorry, that's foul. That's not that fucking bad. Quit judging me. So, okay, this next one, it's like a medium-sized length story, but I know some of the episodes have been a bit long, so I figured I'd give you guys some reprieve. It's like medium long. Like it's not short, it's not long, it's not medium, it's medium long. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. And once again, I do not condone drinking under the age of 21. Just don't do it. Do not be driving while you're drinking. It's the dumbest fucking thing you could ever do. Never drink and drive. If you don't feel like drinking, that's absolutely fine too. You could get buzzed on life. If that is a you kind of person, I am just jealous, honestly. You could just be high on life. That is quite impressive. I call that raw dogging life. Okay, so this story that I'm gonna read tonight is written in by V. Jesse Clark, and the title is, "So yeah, I don't do drugs anymore." You sound boring. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't do them. Don't do them, you crazy. You crazy. Okay. I mean, I was never a heavy addict or anything. Never did heroin or meth. Tried crack cocaine once. That was, yeah. But I was only sober for 8 months between that and when Eddie, an old buddy of mine, introduced me to something called K3. Against my better judgment, I took him up on the offer. "You heard of K2, bro?" he said. He was already high. "Spice? Yeah. Synthetic weed." "Well, listen, man." I blinked. I looked at our mutual friend, Todd, then back at Ed. "Listen what?" "What?" "You said, well, listen, man, and then you spaced out." "Oh, what are we talking about?" "K3. "Oh, right. You ever heard of K2? "Yeah, I just said that." He leaned in close. "Well, listen, man, this shit is like K2 and then some, hence the name K4. "I thought you said it was K3. Todd stepped in. "Okay, ignore him, he's gone. This isn't synthetic anything, Kev, it's something new." "Then why did he call it K4? "K3. "Then why did he call it K3? "He calls it that because it reminds him of being on Spice or something, but this shit is like on another level." I shifted in my seat. "Okay, I mean, you remember what happened last year, yeah?" Yeah, no, I got you. Listen though, I've done this shit 4 times already. Haven't had one bad trip yet. First trip I was like high off my ass. Nothing made sense. Second trip I was like an astronaut, bro. I think I saw what exists out in the universe. "Okay, what exists outside in the universe?" I said I saw it, not that I remember it, but it was wild. I was warming up to the idea. "How long did this high last?" "Depends on the hit and the quality." He held up a small bag of pills. "And you know me, man, I only get the best." Muffin, his dog. Oh, there's a dog? Oh, nothing better fucking happened to Muffin. Muffin, his dog, growled from the other side of the room. "Muffin, hey, down girl." "Is she okay?" "She's fine, dude," he said. "She's fine, dude," echoed Eddie. Then he started laughing. "Is he on this stuff now?" "Took it right before you got here. I wanted someone to be sober enough to explain this to you." "Thanks." "Thank yourself, person, you blithering snarch," Eddie said. Then he resumed laughing. "Thanks, Ed." Todd popped his pill in his mouth. I did the same. After a moment, he said, "How you feeling?" "Me? Fine. How long does it take to kick in? He smiled. Should be feeling it momentarily, my dude. Muffin started growling again. Todd clapped once. Muffin! Shush, girl, come on. I looked at her. She was standing in her crate, baring teeth. The hair on her back stood on end. I don't think she's okay, man. She's fine, Ed. You good? I looked. Eddie was face down on the cushions on the couch. He wasn't laughing anymore. He was shivering. Ooh, shit's about to get bad. I said, are we gonna get cold or something? I usually don't, Todd said. Every hit's different, every person's different. All I know is it's fucking fun. Okay. Ed didn't look like he was having much fun. He doesn't look like he's having much fun, I said. Yeah, well, you know how your friends can be, sweetie, said my mom. What? I know, Mom. What? I said, I know, Mom. I'm not your mother, said Pastor Lewis. Oh, I said, sorry. The fuck? He's tripping balls, man. He leaned in from where Todd had been. He looked concerned, disappointed, had his elbows on his knees, his hands clasped between them. Kevin, you know you shouldn't be doing this. I know. Especially after what happened last year. What were you thinking? Thought I could handle it, I guessed. I stared at the floor. The way the colors on the carpet swirled in and out was always so mesmerizing. It's going to be a bad trip, you know. I looked up. Pastor Lewis had on that old devil smile he always had. Or did he? I furrowed my brow. What? It's going to be a bad trip, he said again in a deeper voice. Todd said all the trips he'd had were fun. That doesn't mean it's impossible to have a bad one. Oh, Pastor Lewis doesn't sound like that. Man, who the fuck is Pastor Lewis? Said Pastor Lewis in Todd's voice. I blinked. Todd was sitting there looking at me like I'd lost my mind. I cleared my throat but couldn't feel it. My old youth pastor from back in the day, I said. Muffin barked from her kennel. It was deafening, alien sounding, gravelly, dark. I looked over at her. She looked at me. She barked again, but this time didn't open her snout to do so. Whoa, I said. What? Said Todd. He was crawling up on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. I feel like I want to cry. It was very unexpected. Oh, I forgot to mention this, by the way, and it's a bit late now for me to mention this. This is from the No Sleep Reddit thread. I'm so sorry. So this is fiction. Still scary nonetheless. It's the visuals for me, man. I don't like the crawling on the wall shit. It just reminds me of Hereditary, and that's to me the scariest part in the movie. Cool how your dog can bark without moving her mouth. Can you sit down? You're weirding me out. Yeah, sorry, said Pastor Lewis. Before sitting down and becoming Todd, then Todd said, laughing hysterically, I am sitting, man. He was indeed sitting. I looked up, nobody on the ceiling and no indication that anyone had been. He was doubled over with laughter, howling, aching laughs. He held his stomach. Is it that funny? It ain't that, Todd said. The spiders in your ears are singing. Oh, fuck no. My biggest. Nope. I don't even like the S word. Spiders. I don't like that fucking word. I don't like thinking about it. I don't like talking about it. I don't like that shit. I pretend they don't exist most of the time. Fuck you, spiders. Fuck you. I don't care if you're one of those people that's like, oh, they eat bugs and blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking care. They terrify me. I don't need them. Something else will eat the bugs. 100%. I smiled. Oh yeah? What are they singing? Todd couldn't stop laughing long enough to respond, but he didn't need to. I could hear it too. Dude, I said, it's the song from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't even know what song that is. Like, is it the hi-ho? Ah, I can't do the whole thing because I don't want to get demonetized. I'm not going to get monetized. I'm not. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was just now. I'm not getting any kind of monetization from anything I'm doing at all. So I don't know who the fuck that was for a moment. Like, calm down, Melissa. You ain't shit. Okay. Todd laughed even harder. Man, what? What? You spelled it wrong, dude. What? Go back. You spelled dwarves wrong. It should be dwarves, not dwarveres. What the fuck is a dwarvere? I scrolled up. There it was. Dwarveres. Huh. That's weird. Huh. That's weird. Todd was still laughing, far harder and longer than the situation warranted. How am I seeing words I spoke? I asked. I grabbed at the R in dwarf so I could rearrange the word, but the R slapped me just as Muffin barked again. Bark, smack, just like that, a single bark. Sounded like Satan. I sat back down. Easy there, Dwarez, I said. I'll just spell it out right next time, damn. Make sure you do, said Muffin. Oh, Muffin. Oh my God. This is so trippy. I know it's hard to follow. These people are hard on drugs. That's what's happening right now. They be doing them drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't do them. Don't do. I can't hear you, bro, said Todd in Pastor Lewis's voice. Or Pastor Lewis and Todd's voice. Who were they again? Fuck. Whoever it was said, come downstairs. I am downstairs, I said before stubbing my toe on his bedroom dresser. I took a step back. I was in his bedroom upstairs. The place was a wreck. Wait, how did I... Come downstairs, said Muffin demonically. I couldn't see her, but somehow I just knew she was standing at the bottom of the stairs on two legs with her head upside down. You know when you just know a dog will look like that? It was one of those times. Well, now I'm thinking about it. I've never thought about that before. Thank you so much, Kevin. Fucking Kevin. That's okay, I said. I like it up here. I pulled one of his dresser drawers out, dumped out all of his underwear and condoms, and put it on my head for protection. No way you're getting me now, you bitch. I sat down on his bed, but his bed was on the other side of the room. Ow, I said, sitting on his floor. Hurt my ass. Go downstairs, said Muffin. From so close behind me, she must have been inside my head. Get out of my head, I said. The power of the dresser drawer compels you. God, this goes from funny to scary in 2.5 seconds. He was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. Hey! He was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in the way that should have broken his neck. Stop it! He was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. Stop repeating that sentence. What sentence? Said Todd. He was in his bedroom. At least I think he was. I don't know, man. I blinked again. He wasn't there. I could hear him laughing downstairs hysterically. Holy shit! I could hear myself say. Somehow distant. Underwater. I am not in control right now. I started crawling towards the hallway, and he was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. I shoved the sentence aside. The letters crashed into the wall and melted. I kept crawling, but now my hands were getting stuck in the quicksand. Shit, I said, here we go. I made it to the door, but the dresser on my head was too wide. I turned it the other way, the only possible solution to that problem, and went for the stairs. Downstairs, Eddie up and yet again was approaching Muffin's kennel, bent over, walking unnaturally. Wide-eyed, mouth open, out of his mind. Muffin was howling and barking hysterically, but also silently. That's weird, I said. It's gonna be a bad trip, said Pastor Lewis. You already said that, Pastor Lewis. I'm asking why I can't hear Muffin bark. It's going to be a bad trip, he said again. He's crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. Why is everything repeating? I asked out loud. He was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. Why is everything repeating? I asked out loud. Drink, drink, water, water, bro, bro. Said, Todd, Todd. He, handed, me, a, glass, glass. And, I, tried to, drink, it, up, side, down. Oh my God, this is like stupid. The water spilled into a swirling vortex that was his floor. Oh man, I said, I lost the water. Where did you have it last, sweetie? Said Mom. I looked at the empty glass. I can't remember. Hey, Roy Rogers, what did you do with my water, man? Did you eat it? Roy Rogers didn't respond. He was too busy floating upside down in a chair that was attached to the ceiling. Snarch, said his chair. Roy Rogers was also my Uncle Mo, tipping his hat. Let me know if you find it, I said. I could have sworn it had bark, 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 bark. Ah! It's gonna be a bad trip, you know. Why am I just now hearing Muffin barking? That was like an hour ago. I looked over. Eddie had picked up her kennel while she was still inside and was holding it above his head. She was consumed in the absolute and utter panic, and he was trying to eat the entire crate. He unhinged his jaw to fit it inside, revealing exactly 14,543 razor-sharp teeth the size of railroad spikes. Bark, 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 bark. Ed, stop, I heard myself say, I said. I squeezed my eyes shut and shook my head. Ed, stop, I heard myself say. Why? His face was static, like when you turn your TV on a channel that you don't own. Ed, put her down and get that static off of your face. He was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. What? Eddie said. He dropped the kennel. Muffin yelped. I don't know, man, I said. Your face is all staticky, like when you turn your TV to a channel you don't own. My face is static? Eddie said through the static. He started clawing at it. And who's clawing on the ceiling, looking down at you in a way that should have broken his neck? That sentence seemed out of place. That sentence seemed out of place? That one? Out of all of these sentences? I heard the words, but didn't see them coming from Eddie's mouth. In fact, Eddie wasn't even standing there anymore. He was in the kitchen, getting a knife. Shit. It's gonna be a bad trip, you know. Shut up, Pastor Lewis. I know that now. Eddie started swiping the knife in front of his face. Get off me, Static, he said. Get off me, Static! I put the knife down. Ed, stand up. Wait, no. I stood up. Eddie knifed, putting the scent down. Damn it. I stood up. Ed put the knife down. There we go. It's gonna be a bad trip, you know. I turned around. Pastor Lewis was at the top of the stairs. But it wasn't Pastor Lewis. It was a perfectly black figure. Pastor Lewis, black is sliming on you. Come upstairs, said the figure. It didn't sound like Pastor Lewis anymore, but it did sound like static, almost as if the static had formed itself into words. I can't. I have to save my friend from the static knife. Come upstairs, said the figure. Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come stairs, stairs, ceiling, ceilings. He was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. Neck, neck, narc, narc, bark, 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 bark. Off me. Static, static, stat, ick, stat, ick. Yo, who the fuck is Pastor Lewis? He was crawling on the ceiling, looking down at me in a way that should have broken his neck. Come upstairs, Dwarviz, sweetie. It's going to be a bad trip, you know. You know, no, no. I was falling, I realized. Falling, falling, falling. And it was hot. Wherever this endless tunnel was, it was dark and hot. That's a bad combination usually, isn't it? I haven't been in many dark and hot places, but have experienced it. And I can say I'd much rather be in the light, bright, cool places. Help me, I said. I felt asphalt. Help me, I'm falling. Now I saw lights coming from one side of the pit. Come upstairs, said a single voice behind me. That was also Todd, Pastor Lewis, Eddie, and my mother all at once. This isn't a bad trip, Kevin, the voice continued. It's real, and you know that. What you thought was real was the trip. Time, space, those are illusions. This is what exists behind the veil. This is the nothingness that exists outside the universe. This is the nothingness that awaits you at the end. No! Falling, get him to his feet. Come upstairs and get that thing off his head. Come upstairs, join the static, 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 bark. Are you okay? I blinked. Hey kid, said the officer, you okay? I looked around. I was lying in the street. Concerned neighbors, police cars everywhere. Most were in front of Eddie's house. Muffin whimpered in the crate next to me. What happened? Well, you were out here screaming, I'm falling, no! With a dog kennel, a dresser drawer on your head, and no shoes. I was hoping you'd tell me. I think I was saving Muffin, I said. Who's Muffin? The dog? Yeah. Saving her from what? My friend was going to kill her, I think. Then he tried to cut off his face because it was all static. Holy shit. My sober brain processed unsober words. Holy shit. That stuff was insane. Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment, dumbass. You're lucky you didn't jump off the roof. Can you stand? The officer helped me to my feet. I stumbled towards his car. Wait, I said. What happened to Todd and Eddie? Are they okay? He looked at me. No, kid. They're not okay. This is why you don't fuck with this stuff. Now we have to clean up what's left. Sit there. He went off to talk to the other officers and the paramedics. Shit, paramedics? 2 gurneys? Ambulance? I came to a full 36 hours later in my own bed. As I later found out, Eddie did succeed in getting the static off of his face, along with the rest of his face. In the last I heard of Todd, he was in a straitjacket. Muffin was given to the shelter and then to another family, so there's some good news at least. As for myself, I was told the effects might never wear off. I didn't believe them at first. I mean, who would? And how do you even process that kind of news? Fuck, I don't know. All I know is that black figure is still standing at the end of my hallway, asking me to join it. I can hear static. I hated that. Also, that was really hard to read because it was so jumbled. I don't even know if you like processed all of that, because obviously, you know, if you listen to the whole thing, it's like a story of like someone on drugs. So like it didn't make sense, which is fine. Very well written. I think it was probably better for you to read it versus me reading it to you, but here we are, and I'm not gonna record something else because that took a long time. So, very interesting. I loved that. Very scary. All I can think about is somebody standing at the end of my hallway right out there. So that's exciting. So anyway, that is the end of the story. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 11 of Buzztober. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for episode 12. And like I said, I will be uploading new episodes all month long during the month of October to get you in the spooky feels. So until tomorrow, cheers to you. Stay spooky and stay buzzed.